to see how we can find sustainable ways to sustain the oil and gas industry in Nigeria. That's why if you put my name on Google, you see so many of the works that I have done. And I'm still doing, a lot of things because I don't believe in being redundant, but I believe in adding value. And I believe in also adding value to myself, adding value to people, and seeing how we can have a sustainable energy industry. So by way of introduction, I said that a successful career requires efforts and action. And why I decided to put that statement there today was because of I had a discussion with somebody that just left the university. So we're discussing today, and I was like, what's the next course of action? And she was like, she doesn't go out, she doesn't mix with people, she doesn't network. All she does was to go to her primary assignment and go back home. And even within where she's doing her primary assignment, she does not even interact with people like that. So I tried to just find out, one or two things about her. And I saw that for her own case is that she's expecting a job to come and meet her when she's at home, when she's sleeping, or when she is with her phone, trying to do us to WhatsApp or do social media. And these days, it doesn't work like that. So a successful career requires effort. So I tried to speak to her that you can't remain like this, and if you remain like this, you're not going to get a job, and rather you will not even enjoy the essence of life, because the essence of life is huge, right? We have to balance it in all aspects. So I had to tell her that she have to move out. She have to, there are things that I will discuss here today, which I also share along with her. But the whole essence of this is that to grow or to achieve a certain career, it takes effort. That's why I put it that one characteristics of a progressive or productive person is extra effort. That's why when graduates leave school, you find out that only very few of them are employed. Why? Because those that are employed, they will take the extra effort to apply for the jobs. You get? They take the extra effort to develop themselves. They take the extra effort to have a skill. They take the extra effort to do one or two things that will make their career better. So the key thing to early career success is what? Extra effort. And most of the times it is extra effort that distinguish one person from the crowd, that set the person apart. Your extra effort in when you are even working, in taking notes of details, in being able to do the job complete, your extra effort in ensuring that things are done very well, your organization is well represented, because so many of those things I've seen in the workplace are those who put in the extra effort. It's a form of
Sorry, Dr. Ogulu, we can't hear you. Could you please confirm your speaker connection? We lost you at some point. Let me write it in the chat box. Dr. Okolo, please, if you can hear this, we lost you. I think the mic has gone off. Let me unmute him.
Dr. Ogolo, possibly you could log out and log in again.
Okay, he just logged out, so I guess we'll be joining him soon. All right, so while we wait for Dr. Ogolo to join us back, we have some little icebreaker. So I'm calling on Musa Okai to anchor that for us while we wait on Dr. Ogolo. Musa, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Welcome and good evening.
Thank you. Okay.
Hey, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Okay, okay. Musa, you may have to hold on. We can hear you, Dr. Ogolo.
Okay, so I'm sharing my screen now.
All right.
And
Okay.
while it comes up, I also recognize the presence of other speakers and panelists. I can see some of my friends who will also be speaking today. And I acknowledge the presence of members of Abuja section, the board members who have joined, and other distinguished professionals who have joined this call today. And I feel the first time is that probably during the question and answer session, I want to appeal if they can also share their thoughts on early career practices, some of the things that they did that took them to where they are today. So can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So I said here that early career practices, they are key to a progressive career path. And I just say that why at this stage it's good for one to take an aggressive approach, because when you take an aggressive approach for early career practices, it makes your future to be robust, right? It makes you to soar fast and attain a certain level of career success very, very early. So let me go to the next slide. So the next slide here talks about some of the early career practices that one can adopt. And the first is establishing professional foundations. This is very key, and this has to do with setting goals and expectation. So you need to ask yourself, what do you actually want in life? Like I asked that lady today, I asked her that, what do you actually want in life? She was like, she does not even know. But I know deep within her, she wants to work, you know, she wants to do one or two things, she wants to excel, she wants to, attain a certain level of career. But from my own analysis is that she doesn't know what she wants. And that's why she's just sitting at home, not doing anything. And assuming opportunity will just come to her, we just come to her directly, but it doesn't happen like that. So for early career practices, you have to set goals. Where do you want to be in the next 5 years? Where do you want to be in the next 10 years? When you set a goal, you know where you are going to, then that will now allow you to decide or determine what are those necessary steps you need to take to be able to get to that destination. Do you need to develop skills? Do you need to go for trainings? Do you need to embark on self-development? These are some key questions that you need to answer, because now you've seen the future, and the future should be something that should scare you, right? It should be something that should scare you, should give you worry that is it possible for me to attain that? I remember when I was doing my PhD, my supervisors would always tell me something that Dr. Golo or Engineer Golo, that the essence of them accepting to train me or to supervise my work was that they want me to be greater than them. And I'll be like, prof, but you have gone so far. How can I, a young man like me, be able to fill the vacuum that you've occupied? But with time, I begin to understand that is the vision that they had. And I myself too, I need to also have such vision to even see beyond where they are at the moment. That the future, like I said initially, is that the future is so sumptuous. You can be whoever you want to be. You can get to any point you want to get to, if only you could lay down the foundation that we'll be discussing today. Establishing professional foundations, setting the goals, know where you are going to, then look at, do you need the necessary skill sets? Do you need to go for trainings and self-development? So I advise that it's good you go for trainings and you embark on self-development, which is very, very key for early career growth. So that, because today, most of the things that I did many years ago, I begin to benefit from them. The trainings that I did for myself, the self-development, the mentorship that I've gotten, the decision that I took many years ago. Today, I begin to see the impact. Even some of the volunteering work that I did many years ago, today, I'm seeing the impact of it. So another aspect of it is building a professional network, which is very key. And that's what SP gives us as young people. So it's good that we seek for mentorship. For me, one of the pillars of my success is I have what mentors. And some of them are even currently on the poor at the moment. And one way or the other, they've provided guidance to me, because as a young person, you may not know the future, but these mentors, they already know the future. They are there already. So they can guide you to say, okay, you set a goal. Okay, this is how it should be. This is what the industry is looking at for. This is where you should go to. These are the things you should do. Like the guy I told you about. And I told her that, do you have a mentor? She said, no. I knew that there is problem somewhere with her. I'm just using her as a case study to show you the reality of life, of how it is, because she does not have a mentor, so she just come to work and go home like that. When she finish her national youth service, she will go back to her state, and probably she'll go back to her state, and that's how life will be for her. But I told her some things that she has to seek for mentors, so that the mentors would, will have that close interaction with her, and she'll be able to learn. And I also asked her that, do you have friends? She said no, which is the second step, connecting with peers. Many a times, the path of success, the lies with your friends, the lies with your colleague, because it's a colleague that will tell you that, oh, there is this job, you need to apply for. Oh, there's this course you need to apply for. Like currently now, as I'm speaking with you, I'm currently doing a course with MIT, Energy Economics and Policy. And how did I know about it? Because it's through a friend, right? Because when I came from that's from NICE, Nigeria Annual International Conference and Exhibition, I discovered that, yes, I have a PhD, but PhD is not enough. To be relevant, I have to train myself. I have to be going for courses. I have to embark on self-development. So while I was discussing with my very friend who is based in Canada, he's also an oil and gas professional, and that told me about the course in MIT. I said, wow. And that was how I registered for the course. And he said, I've done like 6 weeks of the course now. I just submitted my assignment. That was yesterday. And if I tell you where I was when I was doing that assignment, you will laugh a lot because my friends were even laughing at me because I say, you are here, you're doing your assignment. I say, yes, so because there is something I'm seeing. I'm actually seeing the future, right? I know I need that course so as to brand my profile. Aside that, the knowledge, yeah, I can, with that knowledge now, it means I can take a course in energy economics. I can speak in that aspect. I now understand the idea when you talk about climate change, what you're looking, I can even be prepares me to be a commissioner or a minister of petroleum resources, to be an expert, to advise, because I've seen something from that perspective. That is the future. So connecting with peers will give you access to information and would also help you. And sometimes your mentors, like in 2020, which I put there as my story, is that when you have a professional network, sometimes your mentors or your friends could advise you, oh, this path, this is where the industry is. You should go this way. That's why in 2020, a friend of mine, that's the former section chair of SP Abuja section, Engineer Victor Anuche, we sat down together and told him that, Rume, I know you're a driller, but go into energy economics or petroleum economics. Try to develop a niche there for yourself. And that's how I took the textbook. I started reading. I started building models. I started doing a lot of things in that 2020. And in 2020, I was able to publish a paper, about 2 papers in petroleum economics. I had a breakthrough in petroleum economics, and to date, that now even becomes something that I'm known for in the oil and gas industry. Why? Because of this. So building a professional network is very good for as a form of early career practice. Like I said, you have to take all this aggressively, take it to heart and do it, right? And do it. And the next 4, 5, 10 years, you'll see that your your career would shoot up, right? And you'll be scared. Even sometimes me, I'm scared when I see opportunities coming before me, things that I'm doing, things that I want that I'm doing. I'm like, these guys that are giving me this opportunity, I don't know that I have to gather capacity to be able to do those things. I have to work on my mindset, and I do them because of those aggressive measures that I took. Then cultivate a growth-oriented mindset, which is very good. Embrace challenges and learning from feedback. Balance ambition with patience. And most times, when you have set a goal, it may come, it will not come. It's always a 50-50 thing. So when it doesn't come as you expect, you just calm down. Someday, the reward for hard work or the reward for these early career practices, definitely you will get it. And it's good that we embrace failure as a pathway to success. So sometimes when you fail, it shouldn't be the end of it. Fail, continue again, like Elon Musk. They've had failures. Like say Elon Musk, they were celebrating him. There was a time where he wanted to launch his rocket. There was massive failure. The whole world was mocking him, but he went back, did his stuff, applied the principles of science, and today he has launched his rocket successfully. And everybody is celebrating him. He has bought robots. We are celebrating him. He has bought autonomous vehicles. We are celebrating him. But I'll tell you that that guy has failed countless number of times. Yeah, Elon Musk has seen the future. That's also what we should do today. Let's see the future and let's embrace these particular practices. Establishing professional foundations, set goals for yourself. Like since I started my course with MIT, it reoriented it changed my perception, right? Going for trainings is good, developing yourself, going for conferences, meeting people, And I think I just put some stuff there. Go for industry certifications, because at this stage we need to gather as much skills as possible, because when you begin to get to your 40s or 50s, by then you are moving to become a management staff, and it's your technical knowledge that you will use at that point in time, because you'll no longer be doing those technical stuffs anymore, but rather all the skills you've had, you gather, you now start, interpreting results, just making references to them, but you'll not be doing the hands-on activities anymore. So at this stage, it's good we go for industry certifications, acquire more technical skills, even entrepreneurship, maximize the use of social media, understand the market dynamics, which is very, very key as early career practices. Make use of LinkedIn very well, and you see that you get a whole lot from it. So these are opportunities for YP. I just put them here. I know there are some of these things that we are familiar with, but like I said, you must know what you want. When you know what you want and where you want to go to, that is the best for you. Then you can now ask your mentors that, sir, ma, this is what I have in mind. What do you think? And the person will guide you. And these days is that it's not just enough to go to school. You need to go to school and acquire skill. You need to have a skill. It's that skill that will set you apart. That's why even as a young graduate, there are a lot of things you could do. You could go into, skill development that relate to the industry or relate to the pathway that you want, right? You could go into even publishing papers. Like when I started with publishing papers, right? In 2019, I started publishing papers, and by now, today, I have about 33 papers in Scopus. I have a patent, I have copyright, and next year I want to go boom, right? Do a lot of stuffs for next year. So there are a lot of things that we can do. These are areas we want to specialize in: energy economics, petroleum engineering, geosciences, finances, renewable, midstream, data science, even the gas sector, artificial intelligence. And like I said, this require what? Patience. When you start today, when you put in the effort, you develop a skill, be able to do something. That's the idea, right? If it's to build a model that shows, okay, these are the energy distribution within a state, and this is the energy mix you can get. These are the way we can harness our petroleum, our hydrocarbon efficiently. You have a skill, you have something to show, and you are building yourself in that area. And you're also liaising with your mentor with respect to that. These are skills and competency. I also put at it down here that look at acquiring professional certifications. It's very key so
Sorry,
that you
sir.
become more. For example, now if I'm an employer, yeah, can you hear me?
Excuse. Yes, you can hear you. Please, you have 10 more minutes.
Hello.
Yes, you have 10 more minutes, so you have 10 more minutes.
Okay, okay, I'll be wrapping up.
All right, sir.
Okay, thank you. I'll be wrapping up very soon. So these are skills and competencies that are required in terms of your technical skills, your problem-solving skills, or problem-solving abilities. You can train yourself in terms of even your critical thinking. And in the workplace, one of the skills that is very good is the critical thinking skill that you can develop. Because from my own experience, working both in the industry and in the academia, most of the times there's always problem, right? And you have to now apply your problem solving skills or critical thinking skills to solve them. And the solutions are not casted on stone. You have to sit down with a team and you start talking. How do we handle this? This is a project. What do we need to do? You know. So, but when you are critical, you can analyze your situation. You can have proof. Oh, why not we do it like this? Why not we do it like that? And you back it with science or out of experience. In that case, you understand, you become outstanding in your company. So adaptability, communication skills is also good. This is also very good. How you communicate. Yeah, there was a course I was teaching at the time, and there were some statements that I think I took a short course on communication skills. Even how you respond to emails. It's also very, very necessary how you communicate, your tone, and so on and so forth, understanding the market dynamics and use of softwares as a petroleum engineer or an energy expert. It's also good you know how to use some of these softwares, right? Go for trainings, learn how to use them, learn how to apply. I can publish a paper from it. It's part of early career practices. So for persons, young professionals get the jobs. Like for me, I can employ, I have a company, I would prefer to employ somebody who have written a technical paper than someone who has not written a technical paper. If they both have the same class of degree, right? So I would go for that person with technical paper because I know he has more stuff to offer. He has proven from that example, right? So these are also the second part of the presentation that has to do with practices for supporting mental health. I think other speakers may also speak about this because this is something that in Africa we do not prioritize. We feel that the body can work for 24 hours. So in that case, we use it. It's only when sleep comes, we sleep off. But it's also good that we have what we call the stress management techniques. Like me these days is that I love going out. Yeah, I go out a lot. I love going on vacation. I think this year I've gone for vacation either twice. Yeah, I've gone for vacation twice. So I want to have that free time to myself where I can breathe in, I can breathe out, right? So if you need to have a good work-life balance to see how you can, not every time you need to work, right? You should have time for other things, time for family, time for the social life, time for the religious life, and time for even your workplace. We want you to be able to balance it. Sometimes when I have a job or a task and I've closed for that day, I just push it to the next day so that because if I get home, I do other things at home. The scheduling personal time for mental recovery is also very good because sometimes I just go there. I have a river very close to me. Sometimes I will just go there, I will sit there, then I'll just be breathing the fresh air, right? Trying to adapt to nature. And sometimes I tell people that enjoyment you see may not cost you much, may never cost you a dime sometimes. By taking a walk outside in the cool evening, it's part of enjoyment, right? It's part of stress management technique. Become free, become open, and you won't even spend a dime in that regard. So building resilience is key. Supporting cognitive capacity is also key too. You need to have a good sleep time, probably 6 8 hours a day, good nutrition, you need to do exercise. I think for me, this is what I need to do on my own part. Yeah, so lots of engagement. Then continuous learning for cognitive growth. Sometimes you try new hobbies. Like me, I'm trying to develop new hobbies now. Yeah, trying to relax myself, trying to do sports, trying to go to places. Like next year, I'm looking at going on a vacation, trying new hobbies, trying to play a game, just like having something different. And sometimes when you try new things, it tends to sharpen your brain and it makes you to adapt to new knowledge. Like one of my lecturers would tell people, said that to know
Sorry,
how to
sir.
solve something, sometimes you just need to solve mathematics. It allows you to think out of the box. So
Sorry, sir. Sir, I guess you should be rounding up now. We are behind schedule. Do you get that, sir? You have 1 more minute to round up.
hello, can you
Yes, we can. I was saying you have a. Yes, we can hear you. I was saying you have a minute to round up. Dr. Ogolo. Okay, I guess we lost him. All right. So while we were saying, so I would want to say one or two key things I personally learned from his session. So what his emphasis on establishing professional expectations in terms of setting goals and expectation is actually very, very important because like you said, you can't say, oh, you don't have a mentor, and then you eventually find a mentor and you have no goals, you have no plans for yourself. So that doesn't work. So the essence of mentorship is to guide you. And then in terms of the mental
So,
capacity
can you hear
section,
me?
yes, we can.
Okay. Let me just wrap up. I think I just have the conclusion slide. Sorry for that. There was a network challenge. So
Okay, so Saki, can you
majorly
wrap
to
up in a
conclude
minute?
that as young people, yeah, that's what I'm doing now. We embrace self-development. We become resilience. We are able to adapt. We embrace collaboration. We prioritize our mental health. We seek mentorship in that case, and we put some of these things we've discussed today. Like I said, we need an aggressive, approach towards this, so that well, at the end of the day, 4 or 5 years, we begin to see the efforts, the reward of all the efforts that we've put into our career growth. So I will stop here, and I thank you all for listening. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ogenerume Ogolo, for your time and your presentation. We obviously learned a lot. Personally, I did learn a lot, and thank you so much for your emphasis on research. And it is an aspect you're really, really keen on, and the aspect of learning, growing in terms of leadership trainings, learning new skills, basically working in direction of your goals and your expectations. Thank you so much for your time. And in terms of the mental capacity, when we go into the panel sessions, we can learn more on that. So the next thing on our agenda is the icebreakers. So before we go into that, I would want to introduce some key members that I noticed that joined during the presentation. So first we have Dr. I think she's still here. We have Dr. Yetunde. Thank you so much, Ma, for coming, which is our section officer, Professor Kapayat, the program's chair. Our section chair finally joined us, Dr. Ikechukwu, and the section secretary as well. Thank you all so much for coming. So we're going to hand over to Musa Okai, the technical lead for the YP section for the icebreaker. Musa, I don't know if you can hear me. Over to you.
Okay, thank you so much for the introduction. I'd like to say a big thank you to Dr. Ogolo. Um, please host, allow me to share my screen. So I would like to say a big thank you to Dr. Ogolo. He was my lecturer in school, so till date I always take great advice from him. So thank you so much, sir. Um, I just want to present a quick icebreaker session. Can we all see my screen? Hello?
Oh,
Yes, we can
yes,
see your screen.
Yes,
we
so
can.
in the spirit of the Young and Career Mic session, this icebreaker will just quickly let us know about some of our members here on the call. And I would like to call on some people to please, firstly, you just tell us your name, the first job you did, and just a key lesson that you learned from that job so we can all learn. Okay, firstly, I would like to call on Mrs. Afua Akoto Bediako. Please answer this question in just 45 seconds for us. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, we can.
Yes, we
Yes, I
can.
hear you.
Okay, Musa, thank you very much. Well, so the question says, my name. Tell us your name, the first job you did, and what lesson you learned from the job. Okay, so my full name is Ifwakuto Osafubidiakun. And the very first job I did, I remember it was while I was in the university. I was a customer sales rep. And the key thing I learned about the job is patience. You just have to be patient and tolerate customers with different types of, the anxiety, the words used on you and everything. But it just taught me patience and tolerance. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much for that quick one. Well, I guess all customer service agents have to be very patient to be successful. Okay, calling on the next person, going through our participant list. I'd just like to call on Nelly Halliday to please tell us the answer to this question for us. Nelly, are you there? Please just know that even the participants are involved in this icebreaker session. I'm not only calling on the host. So Nelly, are you there?
Good afternoon, or good evening, rather.
Yeah, good
I'm
evening.
here.
Yeah.
No, I'm telling you. Okay, just that I'm
Are you
on
there, Nelly?
transition. I'm here, but I'm kind of I'm on transition away. But let me just answer. So can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, the first job I did was a first aider.
Can you tell us your
Not
name
even a
first?
first aider. My name is Nelly Halliday.
Okay.
The first job, I think it was teaching. Teaching was my first job after school. I was
Okay.
doing home lessons. So I was doing home lessons.
So what did you learn from the job?
Okay, I learned how to manage my anger because sometimes you have to teach and teach and teach before the children will be able to assimilate. But at
Okay.
a point, I will, whenever I give them homework, they wouldn't like comply. So I will like give them a punishment and I will also get something to tell them that I was sorry for, just that I wanted them to learn. So I learned how to manage children. So that,
Okay, thank you so much. I'll just call on two final people to quickly give us. So I'd like to call on Salim Usman to give us an answer to this question. Salim, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
Hello, good evening, everyone. My name is Salim Usman. And the first job I did was actually to volunteer for one of the committees in the House of Representatives, the House Committee on Gas, and we were assigned to like deliver letters and get to know the honorable members and all. So that was my first job. And
Wow.
what I learned is that anywhere you go is that you actually need to be polite and know the manners of approach when you approach other people, because not everyone is the same and not everyone takes things the same as you.
Okay, thank you so much. I guess you also learned how to make policies, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so finally, I would just like to call on Doreen Lowry Kamkumo to please give us an answer to this question. Hello, Doreen, are you there? Hello?
Hello.
Okay, yes.
Good evening.
Good evening, Doreen.
My name is Doreen Law Kamkumo Kamgi.
Mhm.
I think that my first job, what I did is a commercial.
Okay.
Yes, it's a commercial for one enterprise. During this job, I the one lesson that I learned is to be polite and patient, because when you want to talk to the customer, you you should be a very 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 patient and diplomat, if I can say like this.
Yes.
So thank you.
Welcome. Thank you so much, Doreen. Well,
Okay, thank you.
I guess we all have to exhibit patience. This is one lesson to be successful in a customer serving role. So thank you so much. And thank you
Thank you.
all for the icebreaker session. Moving on to you, Chinyere.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Musa. Musa is our technical lead for the SPUYP Abuja section. Thank you so much for the icebreaker. So next on our Chisuyim, you may resume sharing your screen. Thank you. So before we introduce our guest panelists, we have a dignitary remark. I want to call on Dr. Yetunde for 1 minute remark on our agenda for today, which is the Young and More Purposeful Mic session, focusing on early career practices and mental capacity and wellness. Dr. Yetunde, over to you, ma. Okay. If Dr. Yetunde is not on the call, we could go back to the next person. We could go to the next agenda, which is the main theme of this virtual session. Let's go into our panel session. So first, we're going to introduce our panelists for today's webinar. So first on the list, next slide, please. Okay, so first on the list is a young professional from the SPE Ghana section by name Afua Akoto Osafo Bediako. I hope I got that right. So Afua is a hardworking individual who is driven by passion and integrity for excellence. She holds a bachelor's and master's degree in petroleum engineering from the Poltava National Technical University, Ukraine. She is a licensed professional engineer certified by the Ghana Institution of Petroleum Engineers. She was the first female engineer assigned to the CCR since the inception of Ghana gas operations. She has achieved diverse successes in SPE, from successfully organizing various webinars and other programs, as well as mentoring from young professionals. Thank you so much, Afua, for being in our midst and for accepting to be a panelist in this webinar session. Welcome. So please, can we welcome, I'm not seeing any reactions in the chat, but please, could you welcome Afua? Thank you so much, Afua, coming from SP Ghana. Welcome. So the next person, next slide, please. Okay. Next, we have Cedric Bella from the SP Cameroon section. Cedric Bella is a young professional in the oil and gas industry from Douala, Cameroon. His journey began in high school with a focus on mathematics and physics, and after initially pursuing a degree in microelectronics and computer science, he switched to petroleum engineering in 2014. Having gained hands-on experience through internship at Schlumberger, Hydrag, and Malega Energy Service, working in labs and training in drilling completions and crude oil analysis. He became a junior field engineer in drilling and completions and was promoted to a field engineer in 2022. And now he leads operations such as whipstock, gravel park, and upper completion. He has been an active member of the Society of Petroleum Engineers Cameroon section since 2018. Thank you so much, Cedric, for being part of us. Welcome, and it's nice having you this evening. Next, we have Ofure Perfection Cheesy from the SP Port Harcourt section. Ofure Perfection Cheesy is a certified petroleum engineer specializing in reservoir engineering. She works with Shell Petroleum Development Company of Nigeria on optimizing brown and greenfield assets. Since joining SPDC in 2019, she has focused on production optimization and balanced energy transition through effective stakeholder engagement. She co-founded the Global Rich Girls Network, which has empowered over 300 women and girls worldwide and actively mentors young professionals. She holds membership in SPE, the Nigerian Society of Engineers, the PMI, and guided by her philosophy, she believes that we can be our best wherever and in whatever we do with effort and with God on our side. Thank you so much, Ofere, for being with us, and thank you so much for your volunteering and community efforts. Welcome. It's nice to have you on board. The next slide, please. Next, we have Elva. Okay. All right. So from the SPE South African section, we have Palesa Lanyani. I hope that's correct. Palesa Lanyani is an accomplished petroleum engineer and leads daily operation in Mozambican gas fields to ensure safety and meet production goals, developing predictive models for injection wells and conducting surveillance to boost reservoir performance. She contributes to reservoir characterization studies and exploration initiatives, aligning production forecasts with strategic goals. Her experience includes major projects like the Fischer-Tropsch Wax Expansion Project, focusing on process integrity and operational assessment. Known for her analytical skills and commitment to innovation, she is dedicated to delivering impactful solutions in the energy sector. Thank you so much, Palesa. It's nice having you, and what a wonderful profile you have. The next person, please. So please let's welcome our guest speakers in the chat box. All right, so next we have Elva Mokaangio. So Elva has a background in electrical engineering and currently works as an artificial lift engineer at Baker Hughes, Gabon. Her job is to install ESP for oil production. She works in well sites and in the office. In September 2024, she completed her Artificial Lift Systems Academy. This achievement was very important for her career because post her graduation in 2019, she did an internship with Sloan Berger as a well line field engineer. In 2020, she got her first job as a method engineer in a local company, Sodabel, and she was responsible for the supervision of industrial equipment. In her daily life, she likes gospel music and reading. She also sings in church and is responsible for the praise and worship team. Thank you so much, Elva, and it's an interesting profile you have. Your personal life and your work balance speak so well. Welcome. Thank you for having us. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, that's all. Yes, so finally we have our keynote speaker who made the initial presentation we had, Dr. Oganerume Ogolo, who also is a panelist. So Dr. Ogane Ogolo is a petroleum engineer at the Petroleum Training Institute with 8 years of academic and industrial experience. He's an expert in energy economics, drilling, and reservoir engineering. He holds a patent in drilling engineering, 3 copyrights in petroleum economics. He published 26 Corpus Index papers, reviews for journals such as scientific reports, and has consulted for major organizations including Innovationary Limited, NNPC Limited, and Nigeria's Ministry of Petroleum Resources. He has taught 9 industry short courses and is actively involved in SPE as Students Programs Chair for SPENC and Membership Chair for SPE Abuja section, with honors including the 2020 SPE Nigerian Council Chairman Medallion. Thank you so much, Dr. Oganereme Ogolo. Thank you for having us. So to all our panelists, thank you so much for being here. To everyone, our dignitaries, our section chairs from the various invited sections. We have about 6 sessions currently with us this evening. Thank you so much, everyone. So heading in to our task for today, we have questions on based on our theme for today, which is early career practices and mental capacity and wellness. So the first question, do we have the questions to project? Okay. So okay, so I guess I'll just read it. Okay. So Afua, please can you confirm that you can hear me because you'll be speaking first.
Hello, Chinere. I can hear
Yes.
you.
All right. So the first question we have for you, based on career development and area and early career practices, is you can just tell us a brief story in about 2 minutes. So what early career choice or strategy did you find most impactful in your journey so far? Did you get that?
All right. Thank you so much, Chinere, for the
Thank you.
question. And greetings to all my other speakers. So basically when you look at my profile, you realize that I had my education in Ukraine. And I remember those days were one part of the challenging moments of my life because I had to study the course in Russian language. So when I started with my early career, I decided that I was not going to be chasing after having, huge amounts of salary, interested in the money. My focus was because I did not have the Ghanaian exposure. I wanted to be able to, understudy so many key professionals in the industry, whatever job role that was available, I held on to it. So with us in Ghana, okay, we have this mandatory 1 year national service. I think it's also the same for most countries as well. So for my national service, I did it at Ghana National Petroleum Corporation. And I remember those times, I did not mind even after working hours were over, I'll stay behind chasing after all those who were already working there. I was interested to hold on to the little every knowledge that I could get. Okay. Another thing is also trying to have your goals, just like how Dr. Okolo said, have set goals ahead of you, then it will determine the kind of mentors that you look out for. Okay. So I ensure that I'll have certain key people that when I'm facing any challenges, which is work related, I could run to them, they could guide me. So basically, I think that's what I did for myself. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Afua. That was really insightful. Like you said, um, for your initially, you're actually after knowledge, you're after growth, and I think that's very important for early career starters. In as much as obviously you need money for your personal upkeep, I feel like when you chase knowledge with time, the resources and everything you're looking for will in turn chase you. Thank you so much. So the second question goes to Cheesy Perfection from the Port Harcourt section. Cheesy, can you confirm that you can hear me?
Hello, everyone.
Yes,
Good evening.
we can hear
Yes, I
you.
can hear you. Can you hear me?
All right, yes, I can. So the question I have is, what skills do you believe are most valuable for young professionals looking to excel in the energy sector? So for emphasis for young professionals, for early career starters, so you could as well just list them out, then throw a little light on them.
All right. Thank you. And good evening, everybody, once again. And thank you so much, Abuja Session, for this opportunity. It's been a wonderful time here. And so the question, what skills do you believe are most valuable? I think the keynote speaker, my dear friend Dr. Ogulu, already stated during his presentation some of the skills that are really, really very valuable for us as young professionals. But as mentioned, I would love to just highlight a few of them and see how to at least shed more light on them. And indeed, in this energy sector, this sector of ours, there are really key skills that are important for us to excel. I would start with the technical prowess. First, you need to be technically vast in whatever field or discipline already chosen for yourself. It's important. I think this is actually a space where they say you need to have a domain knowledge. For instance, I function as a reservoir engineer with Shell, and there's a domain, a space that's like a place where I need to develop technical expertise in. So as a young professional, when you get into the industry, it's important that be it a reservoir engineer, be it a drilling engineer, be it like one of the panelists that's into well lift and optimizing our wells and all of that. If that's your niche or that's a place you've been applied to work in, you need to develop skills, technical skills that will make you stand out in that space. And indeed, when we talk about skills, it's about the ability and expertise in a particular area that would allow you function properly in terms of the tasks that you've been assigned. So technical skills, very important. Another skill that would help as young professionals is analytical skills. The industry we are in, it's vast and we have loads and loads of data. You work with data. For instance, myself, on a daily basis, I work with data. So you being able to analytically look at data, ability to interpret this data, identify trends, and see how to make informed decision, it's very important for you as a young professional in this industry of ours. So it's important that you're getting in you pick up skills that have to do with data analytics, because in your day-to-day job, you will need such skills. So it's important for us to actually have the analytical skill. Another one is in terms of project management, right? It's very important. In the industry, we tend to work on lots and lots of projects. So as a young professional, when assigned a project, you would be asked to deliver that project. So the ability for you to think about, okay, how do I intend to go about this project? Who are my stakeholders? How do I need to have a schedule on how this project will run? Do I need resource allocation, people that would work with me, and seeing the project to the end of it is a skill that we need to have. There are other skills that I would also mention that fall in the soft skills space. Communication skills is very important. You do fantastic work. You need to go defend the work or share with your managers. The idea of you being able to communicate it for them or whoever is listening to you to understand, it's very important. You could do a fantastic work and your communication skill is poor. You won't be able to pass the message across. So that's a soft skill that we need. Another one is on problem solving. It's very important because in our industry, we face complex challenges. You're trying to tackle one, another one is coming up. So it's important for you to have a skill that helps you to solve problems and also come up with innovative solutions. So I think I would stop here for now on the skills. Technical skills are important, analytical thinking skills are key, and also having soft skills that will enable you to thrive is also a great add-on for young professionals. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Chizzy. Having technical skills based on your niche, based on your goals, and based on what you want to achieve is can't be overemphasized. Technical skills, and obviously, like you said, soft skills, communication, your analytical skills, and a lot of them. Thank you so much, Chizzy. So the next question, we're going to Palesa. So Palesa, can you hear me?
Good evening, Chinyere. Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Thank you. So, please, we need to be fast. So, can you briefly share an example of a time you probably faced a challenge in your early career days, like when you started your career as a petroleum engineer, and how did you navigate it?
Thank you
Something.
for the opportunity. Yes. So,
Thank
one
you.
of my earliest challenges in the engineering industry was basically at a very young age stepping into a male dominated environment and learning to find my voice while confidently contributing to the overall success of the team and growing my career. Early on, I remember a particular instance in a meeting within my first few weeks of working. I was one of the only three women in a production meeting of 15 and the youngest by far. When I was asked a question, I instinctively stood up while everyone else remained seated. This was almost a psychological response, I think, in retrospect. I wanted my presence to be felt in a setting where I was initially overwhelmed by the contrast in the experience and, of course, the gender representation. Navigating this challenge required patience, positivity, and persistence. And I think most of the speakers have touched on this. I focused on delivering on my commitments reliably, which over time helped me build a strong foundation of confidence in my work. This consistency gave me a growing sense of credibility, making it easier to speak up and share my insights with the team, and has since been a foundation where I found myself being successful because I could articulate my work, and I could also then grow the confidence to take on challenging tasks. Thank you.
Alright, so emphasis on what she said. She said how she overcame them was patience, she said positivity and commitment. Thank you so much, Valetta. The next question, um, to the Cameroon section representative. Okay, so can you share an example of how mentorship and networking has helped in your career journey? At least one example of how mentorship and networking has helped in your career journey.
Hello, good evening, everybody,
Hi,
and
Cedric.
thank you.
Okay.
Mentorship has helped me in my career journey with career advice. I remember when I was doing my master thesis, I enrolled in the SP mentorship program. One of the first things I asked my mentor is to guide me through the specialties of petroleum engineering, like what are the roles and daily activities of drilling engineers, production engineers, reservoir engineers, completion engineers. I needed to know exactly what are the roles and what are they are doing. Then I once asked my mentor to review my resume when I was applying to oil and gas company. It was very helpful. He was based in another country because with the SPE mentorship, you can have a mentor which can be based in another country. So from his different perspective, I really knew how I should value my strength in the oil and gas industry. So it was really helpful during my career to have this sharing how to share his personal experience and how to I can develop my skills. I can value my own strength in the oil and gas industry. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Cedric. So the next question is going to you again. All right. So what advice would you give to young professionals for effectively transitioning from academic life to a corporate setting or to a work environment?
I would say to be practical.
To be
Because
practical.
as you are entering the professional world, you should always ask yourself, how can you apply the skills you learn at school to bring the value into your company? What do you know and what can you do to make an impact? For example, I used to apply my skills by learning software or building my own applications using Excel. I used to make experiments to see how the fluid flow, what are the driving mechanisms, how can I increase the flow rate using my theoretical knowledge. Also, you should emphasize of safety. In the industry, everything you do, you must prioritize safety. You must spend time observing company values, and also, you must embrace continuous learning, develop your interpersonal skills, and set professional goals. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Like you rightly said, being able to apply practical skills to actually solve actual problems is what we should expect for young professionals transitioning into the academic life and corporate work environment. And also, like you rightly said, safety. The popular safety slogan is safety first, safety always. If it's not safe, I will not do it. So, in as much as we are trying to do this or that, your safety is actually very paramount because human factor comes first in everything. Thank you so much for that. So, over to Afwa from the Ghana SPA section. The next question is, how can young professionals effectively incorporate soft skills in their early careers? You know, there's so much emphasis on our technical skills and analytical skills, but then the soft skills, how do we actually incorporate it while we are starting out our careers? Afua, are you on the call?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that question again.
Mhm.
So the questions goes like, how can the young professionals incorporate the soft skills, right? So we need to find out avenues where the soft skills will be highlighted. So basically, soft skills, unlike the hard skills, okay, which are acquired whilst you're in school, those technical things that you learn back in schools. Unlike the soft skills, these are usually things that are not tangible. Okay, so for example, when you look at creativity, when you look at time management, when you look at conflict resolutions. So a way that's, in fact, several ways, because I'll list more than one, in which the young professional can, highlight and exhibit such soft skills will be to take up roles. So let's say you are in a workspace or even at school, you are in a team, okay, taking up a role which is challenging to you. For example, let's say there is a task where you're supposed to lead a number of people, individuals, to have a certain work accomplished. If you take up the role to be the team lead, it means you are going to manage people with different temperaments. You will be able to exhibit conflict resolution skills, tolerance, being innovative, creative, and coming up with ideas. Another way I think young professional can work on this is, seeking to be under a mentor. Okay, because the mere fact that you have identified a key person who has done exceptionally well also speaks well about you, the young professional, that you are very intentional about your growth, rather than just being, let me use the word, I don't care, and you just go with the flow of the wind. As and when it goes, you just move along. And then also being intentional and taking up certain courses. Because I mean, being able to structure your time very well and then do so many things at the end of the day. You are going to church, you are focusing on work. In fact, family is pulling you to the left. You also have your personal social life. You want to have fun. If you take up a course and you are able to manage it successfully from the beginning to the end, that means you have been able to handle your time allocation very well. So these are just a few ones I can highlight on. Thank you.
All right, Alpha, thank you so much. And thank you so much for the emphasis on taking up roles and managing them. So, before we head over to the next session of questions, if you have any questions from the participants, any question or any contribution we have, you can either unmute and speak or write it in the chat box. Okay. Or if we do not, we could continue the panel session. All right, I guess we should continue. So the next section is on a very important aspect, which is mental capacity and health. Okay, so Dr. Ogane Murray, please can you confirm that you're on the call?
Yes, yes, I can hear
All right,
you.
all right, sir. So the question we have for you is, how do you define mental capacity and why is it crucial for young professionals? Was that clear?
Okay, it's quite clear. So
Okay.
for your mental capacity, it's it's something that is very, very crucial in the sense that, and it's also part of, should I say, a soft or a skill that employers they look at for when it comes to your mental capacity. And it also depends on the aspect we are looking at for. Is it capacity in terms of how you are able to understand a problem, how you are able to cope with your job, your capacity in terms of how you are able to deliver tasks is very, very key, or in terms of your capacity, in terms of your state of your well-being. But let me just highlight your mental capacity in the workplace. You understand? Because in a workplace, employers tend to rank or categorize staff, especially young people, in terms of categories. That's why you find out that when jobs are given, the employers look at capacity before assigning tasks to people. Oh, this person can do this person can do that. While when they are very urgent tasks, you find out that the employer looks at your mental capacity of the staff and say, no, no, this job can only be done by this person. So it's also advisable for young persons that sometimes don't feel that you are dull, don't feel that you're not intelligent. Everyone can have a good mental capacity by what self-development. So you can train yourself to adopt, to become smart, to become sharp, to become sharp by sometimes you read books. Like for me, books have helped me a lot, to overcome so many things. Then opportunities for trainings, self-development can help you build on your mental capacity. Relationship with people can also help in that regard, and a lot of stuff. So that's just my comment. Mental capacity is good for young professionals to develop because it helps in the workplace on how you can handle tasks. And that's what one of the speakers emphasized on. Also, to in terms of those soft skills, that's my friend Ofwe. She spoke about that. So when you have those soft skills, problem solving skills, analytical skills, that's why in a workplace, when there's a problem or situations and you're in a meeting, you find out that those with good mental capacity, they deliver fast, and you'll be surprised before you see they are promoted, before you see they are the ones that the management will always project to be ahead of their peers. So thank you.
Thank you so much for that background and for your contribution. So the next question is for Ofuri Chizi. So Ofuri, can you share an experience, a personal experience, where mental health actually impacted your career, either positively or negatively?
All right, thanks, Chinyere, for the question. When I hear or see mental health, it's all about your emotional, your psychological, and even your social well-being. It's about how you think, how you feel, and act in your day-to-day life. And it's not just about the absence of mental illness. For me, I have an experience, right? Though I wouldn't want to say impacted my career, but I think it's just something that I feel I can share. I can share as an example, right? So sometime there was sometime I moved to a new team at work, and in the period of moving into a new team, there were some really key deliverables that needed to be achieved as a team. And of course, I was assigned to take up one of those key deliverables. And indeed, the deadlines were really tight, and it's something that you needed to deliver. It gets reviewed. You go to a session where you defend whatever work you've done and all of that. So it was a really tight schedule. And moving into a new team and you're like, oh, I need to really put in energy to get this done. So that was a period where I knew that I really, really had to push a lot. And to cut along the story short, I of course at the end of the day delivered. It even required me staying up more than the 9 to 5, the normal working hours to get all of this done. But at the end of the day, immediately after I delivered that particular task, yes, everybody was happy in the team and all of that. Impacted my health. I was really stressed and overwhelmed. And though yes, it's a success for the team, but I needed to just I had to take some time off immediately because I already saw that it was impacting my health at that time. So I had to go on break. And of course, there were lessons from that session, right? Yes, even if, oh, this is something that's really, really on the top burner, it's important to communicate. And I knew the team then was lean as at that time. Looking back now, that particular tax is something that I'm also doing this period because it's an annual thing. But of course, it's not just done by myself. I have another team member that's also supporting. So the workload is not as stressful as it was. So the team had to consider that to say, okay, this was overwhelming. As for it's something that just one person might not be able to do. So you need someone else to also support. So currently I'm working on that same task because it's an annual deliverable. But now I have support from another colleague and we're working this space together. That was also a lesson from that. So it's just an experience worth sharing because I had to speak up. I had to engage my boss after then to say, this is it. Yes, we achieved this as a team, but this were some of the things I faced. So going forward, it would be great to consider these, this, and these, so we don't have challenges or people don't break down due to the workload or the stress. So it's important. That's an example. And I know a lot of us in this industry, there are always activities from this task to another that we always get involved. But I think there are some points you need to say, I need to push back if I'm becoming overwhelmed. I need to speak up to my boss to say, do I need to prioritize this as against this? So it was a lesson for me. And I just felt, and I feel that for us on the call too, is something that we should take out. Yes, you want to deliver, you want it to be that, oh, she delivered this, but you also need to think about the impact on your health. You need to think about it on the impact of your health. So I'll leave it at that, Chinyere.
All right, thank you so much, Izzy. And thankfully, you had understanding teammates that could actually work together. So there's a question in the chat box. Okay, so I think it's directed towards you because it's similar to what we're asking. So she says, Victoria, she said in a workplace where employees complain, okay, where previous employees complain and give negative energy, which in a way or another affects you by reducing your productivity, how should this be handled? Okay, so I think it's saying when previous, like, okay, I think it's trying to say a place you're working and people that are working there before actually complain about the work structure, and then it's giving you negative energy in quotes, and in a way, one way or the other, it's actually affecting your productivity. So, how do you handle such situation?
Okay, thanks, Victoria, for the question. So for me, you move into a place and okay, before you even joined, you've already started hearing gist about negative energy in the workplace and all of that. I think for me, I always come in with the mindset to make things work right. So if I'm in such environment and I'm new there and I'm noticing all of this, I think one thing I love about my organization is they encourage you to speak up, right? If things are not working for you, if you're not comfortable, if you're not okay with the energy you're getting from colleagues, it's important for you to speak up. So if you have a rapport with your bosses, your manager, I think you can have a conversation to say, okay, this is what I'm noticing. This is affecting my productivity. I don't think I can actually thrive in this particular condition. And I really you just need to voice it out, right? Instead of you bottling it up and just feeling, oh, there's really no solution. Some people have gone past this phase before and they just took it as it is. I feel that a change can also happen through you. So I would encourage you, if you're in such space, to see how you can speak up, because at the end of the day, people want you to deliver. But if you're not having that environment, try and have conversations, try and look for a way to pass it across to the management so they can consider all of those. It's very important because because most times we tend to spend a long time in the workplace. For instance, if I resume work at times 7, 8 in the morning and I stay till like 4, 5. That's like spending more than 70% of, or even, up to 70% of my time in the office, or maybe, a fraction, maybe 50 to 70% of my time in the office. So I tend to spend a lot of time with my colleagues and all of that. So if the energy is really bad, I can't really function there. So it's important. I just want to hinge it on speaking up because you can't thrive in such environments. So try and engage people, talk about it, and hopefully you will see the change that you want.
Thank you so much, Chizzy, for answering that question. Dr. Ogolo, are you still on the call? I have a question that's direct to you.
Yes, I'm still on the call.
All right, so much Cho has a question and he says, how can one handle conflict with your superior in your working place? How can one
Okay, so in terms of your workplace, you just need to, like, has been emphasized, you just need to adopt the principle of adaptability when it comes to workplace conflict. And you need to understand your where you are working first, and you need to know how to handle situations because every workplace it differs.
Fair
You
enough.
understand? Like for me now, I work with the government, and the way conflict is being handled when you are in the private sector is different from the way conflict is being handled in the public sector. So when you bring the the private mentality to the public sector, it may not go well. And when you bring the way conflict is being handled in the public sector to the private sector, it may not go well. So first of all, you need to understand, your where you are, and that's why sometimes, like I said, it's also good to have mentors, especially in your workplace, who could because sometimes some of these things you feel that are big or they are huge or there could be a huge setback. By discussing with some superiors in the workplace, most times it saves you a lot and they could guide you, advise you, okay, this is how we do it here, and this is how you can be able to, to surpass it. Then again, I also advise that you should always document things. For example, now if there are kickbacks from your superior and you send an email so that at the end of the day, if you are called to a panel, you could have an evidence to show. So sometimes it's good you use means where you can document actions or procedures so that you could have something to show. But most times in being able to navigate workplace conflict, it's good you understand the place and speak to your superiors that are there that understand how things works there. And by one or two advice, I tell you, you'll be able to navigate workplace conflict. But don't just be on the idea that you are like, you know how to do it all. And with previous experience, you are now bringing it into a workplace. Try to understand the place and see how things work there. That's just my advice. It's also what I use in respect to where I'm working and wherever I've worked before. With that, before you see, and again, sometimes you just join a company and you could leverage on the experience of the old staff that are there because they may understand your superior more than you do. And somebody may have worked with him and seen how to be able to navigate working with him. But sometimes don't just feel you are too smart, you are too good. Before you see, you
Yeah.
start putting yourself in trouble, right? But when you leverage on people's experience, most times, before you see, you navigate workplace politics. Workplace conflict, and you see yourself soaring high at the end of the day. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Golo, for the injustice dissection question. In essence, understand the workings of that environment you're in, and then also speak to other superiors, like you said, mentorship in your workplace, and don't act like you're so smart. Yes, every workplace has their dynamism, so understand the environment. Thank you so much. So going back to our questions, so Palesa, are you still on the call? Paleta from the South African section. Are you
Yes,
still on
I'm
the call?
still here, Chinyere.
All right, thank you so much. So the question for you is, how can
Yes, I am. Can
yes,
you
I
hear me?
can. Okay. So how can young professionals cultivate a mindset that actually prioritizes both your career goals and your mental health, whereby you're not lagging in any of them?
Thank you so much for the question. Yeah, thank you so much, Chinyere, for the question. So as I'm listening to this, I'm thinking, so in this part of the talk, we're talking about mental health. And I'm sure we're all aware that October is globally recognized as Mental Awareness Month, right? So, in my response to this, I think young professionals can cultivate a mindset that balances career goals with mental health by prioritizing self awareness. When I started off in my career, I wasn't really sure what self awareness was. I don't even think the word was in my vocabulary then, right? But in a broader sense, what does self awareness help you with? It helps you with taking stock and what is that about? It is about reflecting on where things stand, professional growth. It allows for a moment of choices based on the current circumstances. And I think the theme for tonight has been balancing um, your work life, succeeding in your career, but also taking care of your overall well being. So, in my own personal experience, self awareness has helped me to recognize my strengths and my weaknesses. I think for most of us, work is often involve tight deadlines and complex challenges. So self-awareness helps us to recognize when we're stressed, frustrated, but most importantly, it helps us to respond constructively rather than reactively. This can involve taking a break, seeking advice, or breaking down tasks into manageable steps to maintain clarity. And I would say, or the last at least piece of advice that I would give on this is that yeah, any
Sorry, Alyssa, can you hear me?
I think we lost her.
Okay, so let's move on to the next person. But yeah, basically, like she's saying, emphasis on self awareness. That is a very strategic way to balance prioritizing your career goals on your mental health. So the career section, Cedric. So the question I have for you is, how can young professionals recognize when their mental health may be impacting their work, and what steps should they take? Because it's one thing to actually recognize when it starts.
Okay, thank you for the question. So first of all, the symptoms like you will become less productive, you can lack motivation, you can also experience physical symptoms like headaches, you will have difficulties to sleep, uh, so such kind of symptoms that you will know that your mental health, your poor mental health is impacting your work. So after recognizing it, what steps should you take? For my perspective, I would say that you should ask for help because sometimes, as you are young professional, you always want to show what you are worth. So you want to complete so many tasks that you can get overwhelmed. So I think in this case, the best thing is to ask someone to help you because at the end of the day, the end is to get the job done and not to show off. So if you are having difficulties to manage your time and to complete so many tasks that you get overwhelmed, your productivity is decreasing, then you should ask for someone help. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Cedric. The next question, the next question will go to Shizi. You're up again. So, what role does time management play in preventing burnout, and what tips could you actually recommend?
Okay, thank you once again, Chinyere. I'm talking about mental health and looking at management as a way of helping us prevent burnout. Um, Indeed, time management is actually like an armor against burnout. So if you don't want to get burnt out, one of the ways in which you can avoid that is to manage your time effectively and wisely. Because when we talk about burnout, it's a state of you being physically, emotionally, and mentally exhausted. And this can be caused due to excessive and prolonged stress. So time management is very key. And when we talk about time management, it's all about you allocating the necessary time for work and also to your personal life. And tips that can actually help you in terms of managing your time effectively is prioritization. It's really very important that you need to know what is important, you need to know what is urgent, so that you can focus on this to avoid last minute stress, rush, and the likes. So for instance, I would use myself as an example. When I kick off the week, I already write down my to-do list for the week. I'm kicking off this week, okay, what are the deliverables? What are the things I need to focus on? So that I already put my mind to say, okay, these are the things I need to achieve this week, and I prioritize and I start working towards those. Another thing that can help us manage our time effectively is using tools that can help us to say, okay, so and so time I will be working on this, so and so time I will be focusing on these. Tools like calendar apps that already makes you to know that, okay, this period is when I'll be working on this task, this period is when I need to focus on this. Even having to-do lists, like I've mentioned already, these are things that would actually help you stay on track. Another one is learning to say no, right? You want to manage time, and a lot of tasks are being thrown at you. Do this, do that, having additional tasks. It's important, as much as you want to show that you have capacity, it's important to also check yourself to say, can I actually take up whatever I want to add to whatever I already have planned to deliver? Because this can actually lead to an overload and you get burnt out at the end of the day. So it's important to know, okay, where your limit is and say no. Let's politely let the person know if indeed you can't take up such, because you're thinking about your mental health and you really don't want to break down. So prioritization is key. Using tools that can help you is also very important. Taking breaks is also important. So for me, for instance, when I walk, I have my watch that always reminds me when it's an hour, every 1 hour, to stand up from my desk and take a walk, or just maybe within the perimeter of where I'm seated in my workplace, just go off my desk, just stand a bit. So I have that reminder on my app. So things like that can remind you to say you need to take a break because you've been looking at your screen for a long time. This can affect you. So it's important that you take such breaks. And of course, taking time off too when you need such is important. So I'll just reiterate, prioritization is key. Using tools that would help you know what to work on at the right time is important, and learning to say no is another key tool. And of course, setting boundaries. It's to know specific hours to work on stuff that are work related, and time, and also knowing the time to spend with your family. I think it's really very important. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, Efere, for stressing those importance. They're actually very key and vital points. So, over to Afua. That's the last question under the mental capacity and health session. Okay, so how can young professionals actually advocate for their mental health needs in the workplace? So remember that, oh, these people are just new to industries, they are newbies. So how can they actually advocate for their mental health needs?
All right. Thank you, Chinere, once again for the question. Indeed, if we look at our side of the world, mental health is overlooked so much so that people don't really understand what you mean when you say you are depressed, you are stressed, and it is something that we as the young ones we should focus on so that we don't get less motivated. Okay. So I think just as the question says, so how can the young professionals advocate for their mental health? Because I mean, it's your right to feel safe in the workplace. I think you can do that through reaching out to, let's say, your supervisors, people that are in top key roles, okay, those who are above you. In a case where you feel stressed, feel your workload is overwhelming, you feel some sort of stigmatization, because these are obviously common denominators when you look at how people end up being experiencing mental health issues. Okay, you find yourself in a workspace where you don't feel like you are belonging. You feel like you are overwhelmed with all the tasks that are being thrown at you. Okay, you speak to your superior so that they can consider the roles that are most likely to suit you. So I'll be more practical and give an example. So when I started working, especially where I am now, I was doing mostly field related work. Okay. And mind you, I was in a space that was also just like most engineering workspace, male dominated. And with the field related works, it was quite overwhelming because 12 hours shifts constantly, often I'll find myself on the field as compared to a laid back role for, for ladies as like a central control room engineer. So I had to speak to my superior. In fact, he himself encouraged that I take up a role that is less overwhelming. Okay. And then also you can also reach out. Okay. You can reach out to, let's say, um some associations. So when you look at most workplaces, they have senior staff association where you can voice out your grievances to your executive. Sometimes it's not work related. Maybe it is social occurrences where you feel someone abused you, maybe verbally, or maybe it was emotional abuse. You can voice out to any executive who is in all these social associations that you can reach out to. I think that would do for me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Afua. So from the participants, do we have any question or any question right would like to direct to any of the panelists? You could unmute and ask now or write it in the chat box. Okay.
Okay,
So
yeah, I
if
have
you
a Hello, question. Chinere, can I say something?
okay. Yes, you can.
Okay, can I say something?
Yes, sure.
Okay, because someone asked a question and it was directed to me on the chat box. Can I respond to it?
Yeah, sorry, I missed it. All right, sure. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go
Okay, she
ahead.
said, I don't know if it's a lady, but the person said, I recently just defended my PhD, and just like you, I am passionate about research. I believe impactful research is one that solves a problem for the industry or the community. And so my question is, how can one culminate industry and research in this part of the world? How does a researcher find his or her place in the industry? Thank you. So my advice would be that first, you need to ask yourself a question that the research you have done, what is the application to the oil and gas industry or to the energy industry? Is it something that is commerciable? Is it something that the industry is looking at? Is it something that will make you to have a niche in the industry? So these are some of the questions you need to ask. For example, now, if you are told to present your research findings to the IOCs or to the producers, is this something they will be interested in? I don't know if you get the questions I'm asking you. So you need to define the relevance of the research that you have done. And if it is something that the industry is actually interested in and it's something that is commerciable, the next thing you need to do now is to seek for platforms or ways to reach out to the industry, which SPA does. You could decide to give a technical presentation of your work. You could decide to at least approach some of the industry people, their management, and you discuss with them that, oh, this was what you did or what you studied, and you would like them to you like to hear from them. Then again, if your work is commerciable, why not think of patenting it, getting a patent for it, then you look at commercializing it, which is something that we speak currently in Nigeria. You've heard of the triple helix model. Last week we had a conference on that when you have a work and it's something industry related and it has a potential to commercialize, mind you, you must not have published the work. So you commercialize it, and when you commercialize it, I mean, when you patent it, you approach the industry that, okay, I have this method, I have this product, I feel it will work, right, for you guys. It will enable you improve your process. It will enable you improve your productivity. In that case, once the industry finds relevance and importance in it, they can get you on board. Another thing you could also do is to give talks or lectures about your work. But I always advise researchers is that you need to also find a niche for yourself in the industry. You must find a domain where you practice. In as much as you have a PhD, you must find a domain where you practice and become known in that area. And that area of domain or domain you're looking at for should be something that is relevant to the industry. Like my friend told me then in 2020 that, Ume, what you are doing now, I want you to take a shift from it and look at something that is relevant to the oil and gas industry. That's why I had to make my choice of becoming an energy expert or energy economics in that regard. So I think with this answer that I've given to you can guide you. But like I said, you need to know the relevance of your work to the oil and gas industry. Then seek a platform where your work, your voice can be heard. But if it's something that is novel, unique, patent it and seek for options of commercialization. I will drop my LinkedIn profile, which maybe we can discuss further from there. Because I really like to know what you've done and see how we can talk for your work to become relevant in the industry. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Golo. Like you already entered the next section, we are talking about the industry-specific challenges and opportunities. So, like he says, find a specific niche. Make sure that your solutions are actually viable, not just doing research that just end up in publications. Like you said, the Triple Helix just ended their conference last week, and these were the three things we're talking about. The industry was there, the academia was there, and the government bodies were there. So by the time you actually the academias have works that are actually scalable, you seek for fundings and you seek for commercialization of your work. So thank you so much for that question. I feel like you already answered about two or three questions in that section, but all the same. So the first question is for Cedric. So Cedric, we can see that like you started your field engineer work from a very early time, like you from your profile, you could see your experiences in your different companies for internships. So from your experience so far, what industry trends do you think that young professionals should actually be paying attention to? And how can they actually prepare for these changes in the evolving energy sector? Hi,
Thank you
Cedric.
for yes,
Okay.
thank you for this question. So currently we are we should be interested into the energy transition and decarbonization. So currently we can see that most companies are prioritizing cleaner operations, so and carbon capture, and they are looking into renewable energy investment. So what I would recommend for the young professionals is to develop knowledge in renewable energies, carbon management, and environmental regulations, and to familiarize with emission reducing technologies. Get any certifications related to sustainability if you can. Also, the second thing is the digital transformation. So now we are trying to adopt digital technologies like artificial intelligence, big data. So it will be interesting to acquire more skills in data science. So as we are working with a lot of data, we need to how to develop our skills to manage this data. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Cedric. Okay. So the next question, sorry, a minute. Okay. So, Palesa, can you talk now? Can you back on the
Yes, I
call?
can. Can you hear me? Yes, Kiara.
All right, thank you so much. So the question is, how can young professionals navigate industry specific challenges such as gender diversity or geographical limitations?
Thank you for the question, Chingere. So, as I listen to this question, I think mainly gender diversity, especially in the oil and gas industry, would typically apply to women. So, for women, I would view this as an opportunity rather than a challenge, especially for women working in oil and gas or any other male dominated industry for that matter. We are fortunate to live in a time when countless networking and career advancement opportunities are available to women, opening doors that previously may have been closed due to underrepresentation of a lot of women in these spaces. I believe strongly in pursuing these opportunities, and this would be my advice to young professionals, especially women. But I'm also very big on merit, right? So you don't want to be appointed into a position just for the sake of being a woman. You want to demonstrate that you are qualified and a capable candidate to deliver high quality work across all your projects. And as for the geographical limitations, I also feel that today's young professionals are incredibly fortunate. The world has become more interconnected than ever, and technology allows us to connect and collaborate internationally without leaving our own countries. For example, I'm speaking to you tonight from my living room in South Africa, yet I have access to global platforms that expand my reach beyond local borders. And I think this applies to young professionals as well. So I would encourage young professionals to leverage social media and digital platforms to showcase their work and contributions to the industry. And I'd also tell them not to be afraid to apply for opportunities abroad, even if they seem far fetched. This digital landscape allows us to be seen and recognized on a global stage, effectively removing any of the geographical barriers that once existed. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Palesa. Leveraging social medias, like you said, and thankfully there are more opportunities for there are growing opportunities for, especially like you said, for in the oil and gas industry, which is usually male dominated. So there are actually growing opportunities for women in such fields, and there are actually bodies. For example, in Nigeria, we have the APWEN, Association of Professional Women Engineers of Nigeria. These are things that you could actually join, and you see your fellow women doing so many great things, and why not? There's nothing limiting you in the long run. Thank you so much, Palesa. So, over to Afwa. What lessons have you learned from the cross-cultural or cross-departmental collaborations, and why are they important for young professionals?
Hello, Chinere, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right, thank you for that question. So I will speak in reference to what we are currently doing now. This young professional, Africa Young Professional program that we have currently organized as we speak, and we are on right now, is an example of what's cross collaboration, right? Cross departmental events. And these programs organized seek to help with the young professionals have diverse perspective and ideas. So let's say if I'm only based on what the information and knowledge that I obtain here in Ghana, I would be in a box. I will not be sort of like open-minded, okay? I wouldn't understand certain key and valuable innovations that are going on across Africa, okay, or even the world as a large. So having such, cross programs, having such diverse integrated programs like we do, will be able to give me fresh ideas, will be able to give me more innovations, and as well sort of build this kind of team bonding. So, and again, an example, now I can easily reach out to someone like Chisholm. I can easily reach out to Dr. Okolo because I had the opportunity to join a program like this. And I think this should really be encouraged among the young professionals. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you so much, Afua. That's really, really insightful. We should learn to not be in a box, explore, attend programs like this with people from, I mean, we're here and we have about 6 sessions together coming to discuss their various perspectives and their various insights in their experience. Thank you so much. So the last question for this section goes to Cheesy. So the question is, what resources or industry associations besides SPE can you recommend for young professionals looking to broaden their perspectives?
Okay, thank you, Chinere. Indeed,
Yeah.
there are quite a number of resources that are available for career broadening, and of course, it can be multifaceted. It could range from you getting a good mentor to getting the technical resources and even attending webinars. So sessions like these, technical sessions that we organize in SP, for instance, are really very important if you want to broaden perspectives. But looking outside of SPE, there are quite a couple. What I would advise people first, SP is a fantastic organization, right? And I always tell people I'm proud to be a member of this great organization, right? Because it just helps you grow up as grow in your career, grow as a young professional, grow even as a student. Um, but outside of you being a member of SPE, if, for example, you studied a particular course, for instance, or it could be because SPE brings everybody in the industry together, right? You could be a lawyer and you're a member of SPE, you could be in the finance space and you're also a member of SPE. So outside of you being a member of SPE, to be grateful to also identify a particular niche or a particular association that's related to your own profession. So, for instance, in Nigeria, you have the NSE, Nigeria Society of Engineers, that bring all engineers together, right? There's also some other bits. You could be a chemical engineer working in the energy industry, and you're also a member of the NSCHE, which is a body under the NSC that's for chemical engineers. So outside of SP that brings us together where we are getting a lot from, it will be great for you to identify yourself with those bodies that are related to your own particular niche or profession. So you also get to understand things that are happening in such spaces. And outside of that, for instance, Chiro already mentioned APOEM. APOEM is an association that brings women together, women in the engineering space together, though a Nigerian body. I'm very sure it also exists. You have bodies like that existing in other countries in Africa. So it's important for you to identify yourself with such so you can get the broadening and the perspective that you require. So first, I would advise SP is that platform it's very important that we get the best from, because a lot of resources from mentorship. We have the SP mentorship program, for instance, that students can get involved in and get assigned to a mentor. Even the young professionals can also benefit from it, and even the technical events that we get and even our conferences that helps to broaden our perspective. So outside of SPE, other association related to your profession would actually help you too if you want to build or broaden your perspectives. That will be it from me.
Great. Thank you so much. So, in as much as we're looking at other resources and other bodies, we should harness the SP that we have in our hands already. So, thank you so much, Ofori, for that emphasis. So, that brings us to the end of our panel sessions. Thank you so much to all our participants and panelists for your questions, for your insights, for your contributions. We really, really appreciate. So, if there are more questions, we could leave them on the chat box. Yes, so we could just read it out. Whether you want to direct it to a specific person, we're open to questions. And before we proceed, I would want to employ the speakers, the panelists, to please share their LinkedIn profile. So those that want to connect with you, one way or the other can connect or learn more from you. So I think, yes, Dr. Golo already shared his. So we would actually appreciate if all of you can share your LinkedIn profile or any other social media platform you actively use. Thank you so much. So next, while we are with questions, next on our agenda is our team bonding game, where we have the YP Abuja October monthly trivia. And again, we call on our technical lead, Musa Okai, to lead us in that. Musa, over to you. Musa, are you on the call?
Hear me?
Hello, can you hear me?
Can you hear
Okay,
me?
yes. Yes, I can.
Okay.
Welcome.
Thank you so much again, once again to our panelists. I really appreciate the insightful sessions. So the next agenda on the for our presentation today is the monthly trivia. So we are going to have a mini game, fun trivia game, in which we are going to log in to a virtual platform. So you are going to see questions on your screen, and then you have some seconds to answer them before the time runs up. So at the end, we are going to have a winner and of course have some fun while doing that. So before I move on, let me please share the code. So let me share my screen, please. Hold on. Okay. Hold on just a moment. Okay. Um, so this is the screen, this is the code at the top of the screen. This is the code at the top of the screen. So you can use the code to join, and you can also scan the barcode. So please hold on, we have not started. I can see someone answered. There's a little bit of
Okay, so aside from the barcode, could you share the direct link in the chat box?
okay, let me inform mine to do that.
All right.
Mine, please, are you there?
Yeah, good evening. I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Let me share.
So sorry, the first question is already a giveaway. There was supposed to be a separate screen to just show the codes, but I guess that's an oversight from the person that created the questions. So if you've joined, just please notify in the chat box. Please 2 minutes for everyone to join and notify in the chat box that they are ready so we can start.
Okay, I've sent the link in the chat box.
Okay.
Yeah.
So everyone should please join. Okay, so some people have already started, so we are going to start now. Save time. So each question has 10 seconds. So moving on, the first question we have on our screen, there are already answers, but that's because we forgot to close this. So how many SP sections are there? We have 15 seconds to answer this. The timer has already started. Okay, so let's look at the answer now. So the correct answer is 5 sections. We have 5 SPE sections, and only 3 people got it right. So moving on to the next question. Which of the following is not a major oil producing state in Nigeria? We have 3 entries, 5 more seconds. Okay, let's look at the answer. So 6 correct answers. Okay, you all know your oil producing states. So let's move on. What is the primary method of transporting crude oil from Nigeria to international markets? 15 seconds. Okay, so let's see the answer. I guess everyone got this right. So moving on to the next question. Which environmental organization has been critical of Nigeria's oil industry practices? 15 seconds. This is a tricky one. Okay, let's see the answer. What's going on? Hmm. Hmm. I guess there was no answer to this. Sorry about that. That's an error from the question organizers. But moving on, what is the name of the Nigerian government agency responsible for regulating the upstream oil and gas industry? 15 seconds. Okay. So everyone got the answer correctly. The correct answer is the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission. So that's nice. Okay, the next question is, what chapter of the Constitution deals with human rights? I honestly don't even know this, but I guess I'll learn. So 7 more seconds. Okay, let's see the answer. So it's chapter 4. I guess you all should learn today is chapter 4 of the Nigerian Constitution that deals with human rights. Wow, we learn every day. So moving on, what arm of the government does the police belongs to? Remember your arms of government, people. Three more seconds. Wow. Wow. It's executive. Something tells me that this question was very tricky because the police enforce the law, but they're actually under the executive since they execute the law. Well, well, well. 7 people that got the answer wrong, you should please learn today. So our next question, which international agreement aims to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, including those from the oil and gas industry? If you are an active SPE member, you should not fail this. Let's see who are active in the SPE members. Everybody keeps voting the same answer. If you guys get this wrong, I'll know that all of you are not active. 2 more seconds. Where's our correct answer? Okay. We'll have to sort that out. I can't find the correct answers. But I guess I should believe everyone on this call that is the Paris Agreement, and nobody voted for any other option. So that should be correct. What is the major challenge facing Nigeria's agricultural sector? So let's see. Who knows? Five more seconds. Okay. Hmm. 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 Where is our answers? Who compiled these questions? Don't you want to show us answers? Okay. Sorry about that, but let's move on. Which of the following is not a major Nigerian export? 15 seconds. We have 5 more questions. 5 more seconds, I mean. All right, everybody voted iron ore. Let's hope there's an answer. Okay, iron ore is the correct answer. So of course, Nigeria produces barely any iron ore. Our major exports are cocoa, palm oil from the south, rubber from the south also. So moving on, Nigeria's economy is heavily reliant on which sector? 15 seconds. I guess everyone should get this question correctly. It's ambiguous, but you should know the answer. Hmm. 5 more seconds. Okay. Services. I highly doubt this answer. I highly, highly doubt it. I was thinking it's mining because we mine a lot of oil. But moving on. What is the primary source of foreign exchange earnings for Nigeria? Hmm. 5 more seconds. Okay. Of course, it's oil and gas. Of course. If I saw on any other answer, I would have known the person was a troll. Okay. So, moving on. Nigeria's political system is based on which type of democracy? Why is the last option missing? Hmm. Mhm. Okay, I can see 1 vote in, 2 votes. We have 6 more seconds. Parliamentary. Okay, it's a tight race. Okay, let's see the answer. Wow, no answer again. There'll be a committee for these questions. But okay, which river basin is home to most of Nigeria's oil and gas reserves? Please, please, if you are in Nigeria, you should, and you are a member of SPE, you should not get this question wrong. If not, I will find you. I will find you on LinkedIn. Okay, let's look at the answer. No leaderboard. I'm sorry about that, but I hope we all had fun answering the questions. Thank you guys for joining in the trivia. Okay. Okay, there's the next question. I thought it was done. Okay, what is the name of the section chair? Apologies, please. Section chair. So what section chair? Okay, let's see the answer. We have 3 more seconds. No answer. Okay, sorry about that. I really apologize for this trivia. So there was a lot of missing answers and the leaderboard was non-present, but hopefully we had fun. So for this last question, of course, the answer should be the Dr. Ikechukwu Stanley Okafor. He's the Abuja SPE section chair, of course, and Mrs. Amina Dam Madami is the section is Nigeria SPE Nigeria Council chair, so not the section chair, the council chair, and of course Chisom Okoye is the Young Professionals chair. So thank you all for participating. I hope you all had fun answering the trivia. And see you next time.
Thank you so much, Musa Okai. Thanks for leading us in the monthly trivia question. Yeah, at least we learned 1 or 2, even if not a leaderboard, we're all winners. Thank you so much. So we're coming to the end of today's inaugural series, and to wrap it up, we'll be inviting our Abuja YP chair in the person of Chisom Okoye to make his closing remarks. Chisom, over to you.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. Thank you very much, dear moderator Chinyere. Thank you, everybody. Confirm you can hear me. Please
Yes, we
confirm
can
you can
hear
hear me.
you.
Okay. Yes, please. I would like to thank everybody from the speakers, quite well presented, and also to our guests and our audiences. It was a thing of joy to witness the very first of its kind, and we hope to see you do more. Please ensure that you keep the conversations going. My contact and or my LinkedIn profiles. Let's have a more robust conversation after this, and then practice what we teach. Thank you very much. And from SP Abuja, and on behalf of the section chair, Dr. Ikechukwu Stanley, I say thank you and do have the rest of a wonderful day to yourself.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, each of us, for the Port Harcourt section, to the Abuja section, to the South African section, the Gabon section, the Cameroon section. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. And quickly, before we call it a close, could we turn on our cameras for a quick selfie time? So, my guess you should moderate that. So, I take a screenshot.
Yes, please. Selfie time.
So, could we all
We go in
our
30
cameras?
seconds. Yes.
Please, our cameras are not turned on, just briefly. Okay, thank you, Samuel. Thank you, Jane Francis. Dr. Golo, please, we want to see your face. Engineer Salim, we want to see your face. Nafisa, Olayide, Enos BKS. It should be very, very brief. Thank you. Okay, I think you just take the screenshot. At least your names are showing for people that we can't see their
Yeah,
face.
thank you. Thank you, everyone. Do have the rest of your day. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, can we leave now?
Yes, you can. Good night. Thank you for joining, Jane.
Good night.
Thank you, Salim.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Faith Onyema.
Thank you, everyone. Do have the rest of a wonderful day to yourself. Thank you, and God bless.